Hello everyone and welcome back to Russell's Movie Reviews, the show where I review stuff that's mostly pretty good, maybe one of the best movies of all time, or a film that absolutely sucks as you remain in the depths of hell. Now, the previous 2 weeks I discussed remakes of classic Disney films. This week we're going to be doing things a little bit different. It is still a Disney film, but it's not a remake of a classic animated one. It's just a standard live action Disney film. Um, and this is honestly one of the ones I actually think is actually kind of okay. Because honestly, most live action Disney films are mostly either or just straight up terrible. And there's only like a few selection of ones that I actually do like. But yeah, as you guys can tell by the title and the thumbnail, today we're gonna be discussing Christopher Robin, which was released on August 3rd of 2018. Now, to discuss my history with the film, really, I never heard of it, and then, um, my mom rented it, and then we watched it together. I personally thought it was okay, and then and then we bought the Blu-ray, and then I haven't watched it since until this very review, and yeah, so yeah. Trust me though, after this, we'll be discussing some older stuff. Which I think I've already said it before, but in case you guys haven't heard, I'll discuss that at the end of this. But anyway, but yeah, so this was made on a budget of 75 million, so significantly lower than, um, the previous, two Disney films, which were, I know that the Jungle Book was over like 170 million. I think it was like around 175. And I think the Peach Dragon remake was about somewhere between like 50 to 100 million. So yeah, um, yeah. So domestically, it made just over 99 million, and worldwide it made over 179 197 million. So yeah, technically this film was successful, but again, domestically it didn't really do that well. It only made like only about like just over or just about 25 million back, um or just like its budget, and that's just around, like, yeah, it just only made about like over, like, it made its budget back on only like 20 million more, so not that well, but worldwide it was a success. And this film was directed by Mark Foster. Now, I recognized his name before, but I didn't exactly know from where. And when I looked up his name, for James Bond fans, he directed what is considered to be one of the worst, if not the worst, James Bond film of all time, Quantum of Solace. So, seeing that name attached, and then made me really concerned of how the film was really going to turn out. Especially knowing that this film came out 10 years after Quantum of Solace. I was like, okay, let's see if you actually make a somewhat decent film. I won't spoil what my opinions were until the end of this review, but we'll discuss that later. Um, so yeah, so let's go on ahead and talk about the plot. So Christopher Robin, who in this film is played by the fantastic Ewan McGregor, now a family man living in London, receives a surprise visit from his old childhood pal Winnie the Pooh, voiced in this film by Jim Cummings. With Christopher's help, who embarks on a journey to find his friends, the classic Winnie the Pooh gang, Tigger, Eeyore, Rabbit, Roo, Piglet, all of them. Um, once reunited with, uh, the lovable bear and the gang travel to the big city to help Christopher rediscover the joy of life. So yeah, it doesn't. It sounds like a pretty standard kind of Disney film. And that's I'm just gonna say this right now. That's what it really kind of feels like. It just feels like a run of the mill kind of standard Disney film, and that really it doesn't. It's not a bad thing at all. I like a film that at least sticks to standards than something than a film that tries to do something new and fails. So good on them for that. But overall, mm, it's still kind of iffy. I'm still iffy on that. Um, but yeah, overall, it's just your it kind of just like a standard Disney plot. Um, which again doesn't exactly mean a bad thing. I mean, to certain people it is, but to most people it doesn't necessarily mean a bad thing. It's just the quality of the film really affects what people think, obviously. Um, so yeah, so like I said, I'm not gonna spoil my opinions until the end of this review. But let's go ahead and talk about the cast. Okay, so we obviously have the title character, Christopher Robin, who is played by again the fantastic Ewan McGregor, and he is easily the best part about this film. Like, there's no doubt in my mind that he does a single bad thing, like a single bad moment in this film. So yeah, um, yeah, and like he's freaking Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know, like that should be well enough said. But he also did play Danny in the in Doctor Sleep, which for those who are unaware is the sequel to The Shining, the older version of Danny, obviously, which came out like a year or two ago, I think, already now. Um, we also have Haley Atwell as Evelyn Evelyn Robin. Jesus. Um, and she does great with the stuff she's given. Nothing really else to say. She's the wife of Christopher Robin. We have Bronte Carmichael as Madeline Robin. She does fine. Again, kid actors, depending on the films and how good their acting chops are, they're obviously either good or bad. This kid does fine. We also have the fantastic Jim Cummings as who voiced both Pooh and Tigger as well. And I actually do have a fun fact about him that we'll discuss later on. He does great with the voice. I think he is. I think the longest running voice actor to voice Winnie the Pooh. I think because I think there's been a total of 3 voice actors throughout the entire because I think he started like Disney started doing cartoons for him in 1977 with the Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh. That was one actor, and then I think around the 90s, it was another guy, and then by like the 2000s, I think it was Jim Cummings. Well, I don't know what the order is on that, but yeah. So basically, I believe Jim Cummings is the so far most recent actor to voice Winnie the Pooh. We also have Brad Garrett as Eeyore. I think he might have done something I know, but I didn't go too much into that. We have Nick Mohammed as Piglet. Peter Capaldi. I'm so sorry if I butchered that last name as Rabbit. Sarah Sheen as Rue. Toby Jones as Owl, and Sophia Okinado. Again, so sorry if I butchered that last name, as Kinga. And they all do great. But I think like the best one out of all of them is obviously Jim Cummings. Um, in terms of favorite scenes, I'm just gonna say this right now. Even though I do like this film a little bit better than the previous 2 Disney films I talked about. which was the Jungle Book and Pete's Dragon live action remakes. Um, I can't pick a favorite scene out of this. So, um, you know, I guess the I guess a favorite scene of my own, and as I'm only saying it's a favorite scene because it's the only one that I can recall, is when Christopher Robin first initially meets Winnie the Pooh for the first time as an adult. Because like I think the scene is set up like he's sitting on a park bench somewhere, and then he hears something and he's like, "Oh, what was that?" And he hears another noise on like the other thing. He's like, "What is that?" And he looks forward, and all of a sudden Pooh's just sitting there, or something, basically something like that. But the whole first encounter between Christopher Robin as a adult and Winnie the Pooh is is a good scene. And then I guess the only other memorable thing from the film is there goes the mic. Um, the only other memorable thing uh from this film is like the goodbye scene, because it actually did get to me when I first watched this, but now it's just again kind of just like um uh I'm really just trying to figure out more things what other things to talk about with this film. I guess the All right, yeah, I know what I just found something to talk about. I'm probably gonna get a lot of hate mail for this for people who have seen this film, but to be completely honest, I don't like the designs of Winnie the Pooh and the gang. I don't like them in this film. Well, at least I don't like the designs of them in this film. I feel like that. Okay, grandly, it is a live action film, so they kind of had to change it up so that it doesn't look too cartoonish. But I don't know. Really, the most like really all of them look weird to me. Um, like really, it just feels like that. Like someone said, "Hey, all these characters, all these character designs from the original. Let's put them through let's put them in a machine that makes them look more realistic, and whatever they turn out, let's just put them in the film because we don't care." Um, so yeah, I don't really like the character designs of. I mean, you could literally look at it for yourself right there. Um, you know, I don't really like it that much. Um, so yeah. Um, again, it just seems like that they just said, "Hey, let's try and make a let's try and make realistic versions of all the Winnie the Pooh characters." And overall, they just made them too. Well, one, I don't like them because they look way too realistic, and two, I don't like the fact that they have. Okay, to me, I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but to me, they look they look like stuffed animals to me, and they don't look like real like animals or like realistic versions of the characters. I honestly would have been. I mean, I still would have not really liked it that much, but I probably would have been fine with that. But they just look like literally they look like stuffed animal versions of the original characters. And maybe that's what the original intent was, but for me personally, I do not like it that much. I just say, hey, either A, you stick to the original design, or B, you just go totally realistic with them. If you're gonna do a live action version of these characters, do it one of those two ways. Um, but yeah. Um, I guess another thing I can talk about. Well, I mean, because really, like the previous two reviews, I'm struggling to find things to talk about because it's like one of those things where it's really kind of just boring. Um, so yeah. Um, I guess well, cinematography throughout the entire film is very spot on. Especially like this, the scene shown on the back where it's very foggy and stuff. That's actually really well done. Um, I actually do like the fact that I mean, this is just really just trying to find things to talk about, but I do like the fact that on the slip, the the letters are embossed and like even like the characters are embossed. Um, I honestly feel like that if they were gonna do the whole emboss thing, and because you could even see on the characters that they have like these like fur textures, I feel like like not obviously every single one because they can't really do that for this small. But they should have at least like done like some like kind of like fur texture instead of just a flat kind of thing. But yeah. Um, but and also this Blu-ray, I don't think it doesn't really come with that much. It says on the back that it comes with a movie is made for Pooh. Learn how the Stuffies are magically brought to life. Oh God. Pooh and friends come to life. See how love, magic, and special attention to detail were put into every frame. Yeah, I highly doubt about that. Pooh finds his voice. Follow the iconic voice of Pooh and voice actors Sterling Holloway to Jim Cummings. Okay, so I'm assuming that means is like it just talked about the whole history of like the voice actors that played Winnie that voiced Winnie the Pooh. And Pooh and Walt become friends, explore the legacy of Walt Disney's love for Winnie the Pooh. Okay then. Yeah, and I feel like those are the only special features on this entire disc. Because I don't think the DVD comes with anything. So because yes, this is a actually let me see. Yeah, there's an answer in here. So that just to hide that real quick. But yeah, this is does come up with the DVD and the Blu-ray. Um, so yeah, I don't even like I said, I don't even think that the DVD comes with any sort of special features. I think it just comes with the movie itself. So yeah, so pretty much a very bare bones release. Um, I do like the fact that now Disney is really starting to obviously while they're making new films. I do like the fact that they're focusing on their back catalog of films to release on 4K. I know this is a very, very weird topic to start talking about, but you know, obviously with their partnership with when they bought 20th Century Fox, it's like, oh god, now what? And then they started. I think they released Speed on 4K, which I actually do plan on picking up at some point. But it's like that was the kind of like the first indication, like okay, yeah, they're gonna start selling 20th century like their back like the 20th century fox's like back catalog instead of just doing their own, which I do like. um I do like that they're actually paying attention and doing what the fans are asking them. So go on, Disney. Even though the because I was hearing rumors that that the because there was rumors going around that Heat was getting a 4K release, and I would have been totally on that. But now apparently that's been canceled for now. So that kind of sucks. Um, so yeah. Um, overall, it's just been real back and forth with you know, um, with movie studios now trying to make some cash off of some home media because it does really seem like the home media is dying like a lot. So hope that more attention is put onto these home media releases so that people can actually start giving the companies money so that they can start putting out more of this sort of stuff, but only time will tell. I guess to move on to the fun facts, which like I said, the fun fact is about Jim Cummings. So uh yeah. um so apparently Jim Cummings is the only voice actor to reprise his voice talent, like his roles from previous films, to this one, which is again he reprised his role as both Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. Everyone else, Eeyore, Piglet, Rabbit, Roo, Ow, Ow, like all the other like all like the other Winnie the Pooh gang, have been recast specifically for this film. I don't get the reason why, unless they were either A, had prior engagements, or they prior like other things that they had to do, or B, they're dead, which I highly doubt. So it's most likely the first one. But it's just weird that they couldn't get all the current actors to play their iconic roles again, which is it's just weird. I don't know exactly what the whole situation about that was. But yeah, so yeah, apparently Jim Cummings is the only actor from the original, from well, basically from voicing Winnie the Pooh as of now, like from like obviously other Disney properties, um, to come and voice his iconic characters in this film. So, um, yeah, it's just a little bit weird that they weren't able to get all the other voice talents to for this film. The music was done by both Jeff Zandila and John Bryan. The music in this film is not that enjoyable, to be completely honest. It's just a very forgettable score overall, and it really seemed like that they put more attention into the film itself and not the score, which sometimes that could work, other times it doesn't work, like in this case. So, yeah. I think there might be a soundtrack release for this film, but in my eyes, do not go and pick it up because it's not a very good score overall. It's just very bland and doesn't really work, in my opinion. But yeah. So, final thoughts on Christopher Robin. Now, as I said earlier, I actually do appreciate this film more than the Jungle Book and Pete's Dragon live action remakes. Because, one, it's an original idea, basically, unlike, the previous two, which are technically remakes, even though the director of Pete's Dragon says that it's more of a reimagining of the story. Yeah, it's a goddamn remake. There's, yeah, even if you change certain things about it, it's still a remake overall. Um, Ewan McGregor is great in this film. Um, even though I don't like the gang's design, their characters are great. Um, but overall, it's an overall kind of disappointing film, but I did enjoy it. So I'll give this film a B minus. It is kind of a massive disappointment for you know watching this back again. It certainly was better than I thought it was because I thought that this was gonna be as bad as Quantum of Solace, and Quantum of Solace is a very bad film. Like there's really nothing good about it. But this film was actually surprising. So Mark Foster, if you're watching this, you improved yourself in the 10 years between Quantum of Solace and this film. So good job. But that doesn't really mean that this film is that much better. It is a good film, but I probably wouldn't be going back to this anytime soon, and probably not for a while. So like I said, B minus. So yeah, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. The review on Christopher Robin. Stay tuned for next week where we're gonna be starting the Rush Hour trilogy, obviously with the original from 1998. You can click over here on my profile to go to my channel, or just click down on my username down there, and make sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that bell icon to get notified when future videos are coming out. And you can click over here to watch the latest two videos. Yeah, guys, so stay tuned for next week for the Rush Hour review. Live long and prosper. Out.